All right. Yes, yes, yes. So here we are ready to dive into this conversation. Want to make sure you all know who I am in case you don't know. I'm Dr. Sharita Weatherspoon. I am the visionary for this project, Love Letters to My Girls. 100 plus Black women speak to the hearts of Black women and girls. And tonight we have joining us a few of our contributing authors for the project, along with Brittany Matamoros, who is our co-host this evening, and she's going to introduce herself in just a few seconds. But the Love Letters to My Girls project is a project that is designed to inspire, uplift, motivate, and empower Black women and girls around the world, regardless of their age, their socioeconomic status, their religious beliefs, their education levels, whatever differences you might be able to identify. This book is designed to reach across all of those differences and touch each of these women and girls wherever they are in their journey as Black women navigating through a world that does not really value Black women. We want to help them to recognize how valuable they really are, to understand their worth, and to stand in the power of who they are, showing up as their authentic selves and impacting the world in the way that they were created to do. So, we are doing that first through this book, but we have some other things in the works as well, including a scholarship fund where we will be giving or awarding, I should say, at least two scholarships to two Black women, 13 and older, one for education and one for entrepreneurship. So if you're interested in applying for that, we are accepting applications through November 15th, and you can find the application on the loveletterstomygirls.com site. We're also going to be doing book donations to organizations and groups that serve Black women and girls. If you want to donate to either the book donations or to the scholarship fund, you can make your donations directly through the United Way of Delaware. And you can find that information on our site as well, or go straight to loveletterstomygirls.com/donate. And of course, if you're an organization that could benefit from the book donations, there's a form on the site for you to fill out your information so you can be considered for that. So we're doing some great things here. This conversation is just a part of it. And we decided to do these conversations as a way, to bring Black women together, to talk about some topics that are relevant and important to us or affecting us in some kind of way, and kind of bringing the conversations that we might have in our own sister circles with just a few close friends out into the public, and hopefully leaving you with some encouragement and motivation, as well as some strategies and tips that you could utilize as well, again, as you are journeying through this world as a Black woman. So here we are tonight for this conversation, loving and legalizing our hair. So I'm going to ask Brittany to go ahead and introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I am Brittany Matamoris. I am the owner of BU Hair Studio right here in Newark, Delaware. I am a natural hairstylist and a curl expert. And what I specialize in is empowering women and children, Black children, to embrace their natural hair just the way that it grows out of their scalp. And then I implement science based hair care tips to help you to truly understand, learn, and love your hair.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you.
All right. Celine, would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, beautiful Black women. My name is Celine Thornton Hubbard, and I'm a Kentucky native. I am a loving mom of 3 children and 7 grandchildren. I'm a servant leader. I've lived in Delaware over 30 years, and in my career path, I was a servant leader. I'm founder of Beauty for Ashes Ministry. I'm also a psalmist, author, and speaker. I'm currently in full-time college, referencing the career that I retired from, which was law enforcement. And I'm an active executive board member of Prison Ministries of Delaware.
Awesome. Thank you. Charlotte.
Hello, Queens. I am Charlotte Miller Lacy, and I am a change maker. I believe in being a source for young women to find out their why. I am the founder and national executive director for I Am My Sister's Keeper.
Awesome. Awesome. Rochelle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rochelle Peterson Ansari. I am a a wife, a cousin, a daughter, a grandmom, and yeah, loving that.
Mhm.
And I hail originally from Brooklyn, New York, but I am here in Philly, been here long enough to claim Philly as home. And I am a 30 plus year higher education professional and CEO of Perceptions Unlimited, where we are training, coaching, and providing consulting services to educational institutions, primarily colleges and universities and other nonprofits, to help them create sustainable solutions to meet their diversity and equity goals.
Awesome. Awesome. And Tracy.
Good evening, Queens. My name is Tracy. I am born and raised in Chicago Heights, but I reside in Chicago. I am first and foremost an advocate for homelessness and domestic violence. And I'm also a trainer specialist at Care Chicago, which is a nonprofit organization that is very passionate about equipping individuals with the tools they need to obtain gainful employment. And currently I'm rebuilding, rebranding, and recreating myself as an effective singleness mindset coach. And I'm really, really honored to be here amongst you ladies. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So now you all know, why we're calling this Powerful Conversations with Powerhouse Women, because these women, these women are certainly powerhouse women. We have a diversity of women participating in this project, entrepreneurs, ministers, women who are working from home, who are mothering full-time or parenting full-time, who have awesome careers, variety of ages, just like I said, diverse women, so we can reach a group of diverse women. So this is really awesome to have you all with us tonight. So let's kick the conversation off. I'd like to ask each of you to share briefly about your hair journey as a Black woman, so totally from that perspective, and how you would describe your current feelings about, your Black hair, and especially in light of everything that's going on in the world. So let's see, Rochelle, would you kick us off?
Okay, sure. Wow. My hair journey started with natural hair. I think all of ours has, right? And was braided up for years. Always had that person down the hall in the building who could braid your hair in different styles back in the day. But I remember emerging to being a teenager wanting to fry it, right? wanted to dye it and lay it to the side, right? and I did, because I grew up in the time when we started asymmetrical, some crisscross. And I remember, and then by the time I went to college, the Jerry curl came out. Say what? Had to have it. Had to have my Jerry curl. And again, moved from the fro. It was a fro sometimes because I was in the boonies in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. So we couldn't get our hair done readily. And, if you didn't have a car. And so it grew into a fro. And then I remember distinctively, by the time I graduated again, it was fried again. Mm-hmm. And I'll just fast forward later into adulthood. I remember I had to be in my 30s. I remember there was a break, right? So I said, I'm a higher ed professional. So we have a break between, the December holidays, Christmas and New Year's. And my hair was growing out. And I thought, I remember a day where I was just like putting my fingers through my hair. Oh my goodness, this feels so good. And I remember this day struggling. Like, do I go back to work like this? Mm-hmm. I know I don't even have to explain that.
Right.
To a
Right.
lot of people on this phone, right?
Mhm.
Like that, was my hair acceptable,
Mm-hmm.
right? My natural hair.
Right.
And I gave into that and did something to it. You know, it didn't stay in its natural state. And then in 2001, so, you know, I'm fast forwarding again, I don't even know what was going on in my life. I went to a beautician. I knew I was ready that day to cut all the baggage that was on my head out. Okay. And it was freeing for my heart. So I, you know, actually went to see a person that I'm with actually still to this day. And I don't know if we can give commercials. You let me know. And yes, like I literally have not washed my own hair since 2001 because this woman takes care of me just like that. And I just got it cut. I wasn't ready to lock yet because I didn't know you could just do all of this fabulousness with it. Yes, okay. And when I cut it, it was just so freeing. You know, it was so freeing. I put some natural hair extensions in it. Because for me, I felt like I looked like anybody know Good Times? I thought I looked like Michael from Good Times with short hair. So I was like, I don't have the head for that. So let's put something in there.
Right.
And move forward to locking a few years later, right? And it is a process. So what do I feel about my hair today? My hair today, my current feelings is that I love my locks, as you know. And can't believe I ever was in a space where I did not love my natural hair. Considering what's happening today, you know, I've had the experience of being in a place in the last couple of years where someone actually spoke to one of my students about their hair, and as if they could. It's, you know, saying whether it was professional or not, when it was kind of back in a bun. And I remember thinking, boy, you know, all I wanted to do was make sure she understood that no one gets to tell you what to do with what's coming out of your head.
Right.
Yes. And how it was needed. So the current state we're in, we need to tell people, we need to tell our young people more of that, right? And help them resist, because you know they're going to want to straighten it for the wrong reasons. I don't have a problem if you're making a conscious choice. I feel like I talked a lot, so I'm going to stop.
Yeah. Let's see. Who else would like to answer that question?
I can go.
Okay, Janice.
Okay, so my hair journey.
By both, just so you know, I didn't just say the wrong name.
Okay.
I said Janice and Celine, so I don't want to confuse the people.
Janice Celine speaking, and yes, that's cool. My hair journey began, like Sister Rochelle said, we started out natural. It was not an easy experience for me as a young child because getting my hair pressed was not a comfortable experience. Then as I grew up, I remember when the Jerry curl came out and I got involved with that. By the time I reached college, my best friend and I were wearing braids and beads, and we did each other's hair all the time. And then in my hair journey, as I got into more of adulthood, I experienced going to salons and getting my hair cared for. And I've always been gray. I've been graying since I was 20 years old. So I learned how to wear color. I experimented with color quite a bit, off and on. When I got into my law enforcement career, especially in the latter portion, the latter almost 7 years, it was like, okay, we're not wearing the gray. So I wasn't embracing my gray. And you know, the gray has been very much it's been like a fad with people, you know, it's the thing. But when I retired, I decided to retire my hair. And so I retired my hair from color, which was the high blonde, and I could wear it. I was wearing it to mask my gray. I'm telling you, I was fly. Okay. Working in a house full of men, I wasn't going to go in there looking scraggly. Okay. But when I retired my hair, And from that point, I didn't know what I was going to do because the gray hair is very different. I like the gray hair, but it's very different. I'm really fascinated when I go places and see Black women with different variations of gray. I have all the shades of gray in my hair. I have still some black, but very little. And I have a variety of shades of gray, and some of it's porous, some of it's very coarse, and some of it's very fine. So my hair journey now is I'm happy with my gray. I've embraced it, and I have a backup look, and my hair is natural. I would refuse to put heat to my hair. I refuse to put color to my hair. I refuse to do any of that. I no longer go to salons. I manage my own hair with natural products that my resourceful daughter was able to find a website that carries only natural things. So my hair gets a good treatment and care, maybe every 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes a little longer. I need to be a little bit more diligent with it. But it's a process. And as we all know, when we go to the salon, you're in there all day long. So with your own hair, it's the same process. You're doing it all day long. But what I found and what I want to say about hair is that it has a personality. And I find that my hair decides to do what it wants to do when it wants. I actually know what it likes now. So I'm learning to not be so actively involved in things that I don't have time for my hair. And I firmly believe that our hair, which is our crown, is so much a part of us as Black women. So many of us spend our time getting weaves and different things like that done to our hair. And I think just my personal view that we are in need of loving ourselves to the degree that we can value who we are the way we are without all of the extra. Now, I learned to wear wigs, and I learned to do some things different because I had a life event in 2010 where I had a 9-hour brain surgery. So all my hair was cut off on one side, grew back very quickly. I was still seeing a hairstylist at the time, but then I had all my hair cut off at that time. So I started over with no hair working in my work environment, but it was all right. And the hair grew back. It grew back where the incisions were. And I just love my hair. I think that my white gray, it's distinguished, makes me look distinguished. It stands out. And this little look I have right here is my backup. And I'm loving it.
It's very, very, very pretty. So
Thank you.
I was listening to you say how you went through many different things in trying to embrace your hair. And it's something I deal with in the salon all of the time. I get many women and children who come in and they simply do not like what they have on their head. And so we'll go around the mountain 50 million times. We'll do braids. We'll press it out. We'll do 2-strand twists, and they're never pleased. And then it comes to the point where they come in and they say to me, okay, Brittany, you win. Show me how to just wear my hair. So I often wonder, what is that defining moment? Have you guys had that defining moment when you decided, okay, this is it. I'm just going to wear my hair? I think I had that defining moment myself maybe 2 weeks ago when I had a full head of box braids and I felt like this. It was so heavy, and I'm like, well, I don't want to lose my edges.
Yep.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yep.
And so I set my hair for the last time, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to wear my hair the way it comes out of my head. So what would you say was your defining moment that just said, I'll wear my hair how it comes out of my head?
Are you asking me, Brittany?
Whoever would like to answer.
I'll answer that. And so to me, there is a really powerful connection between a Black woman's hair and her identity. And so my journey was really traumatic. As a child, I got my hair pressed, got my neck and ears burned, then eventually got it pressed out to where it all fell out. So my hair was pretty much part of my insecurities growing up, right? And so as I'm getting older, my first time ever wearing my natural hair was maybe 2 years ago. I finally cut all my hair off and just went natural. And now I look at hair as something like an accessory. It's like, your favorite earrings or your favorite purse. If you want to go natural, you can go natural and be confident in that. If you want to wear a protective style, if you want to put a wig on, I just feel like it's more of an accessory, and it's supposed to enhance our beauty, but it doesn't like make or break it.
Right.
But growing up, I always connected it with my identity. It wasn't going down my hair down my back and things of that nature. So I thought, I wasn't pretty enough or things of that nature. But as I'm growing older, like I said, when I went natural for the first time, I embraced it. And again, I look at it as an accessory. So however I'm feeling, that's how I'm rocking my hair.
I like what you said with that. I feel the same way. When I was growing up, my hair was my identity. And the reason, I remember people would say about my sister, they would look at my sister and say, oh my gosh, she is so beautiful. She is just so beautiful. My sister's a little fairer than I am. And then my brother, who was dark and handsome. That's what everybody's like, wow, he is dark. And he is a handsome Black guy. Oh my goodness. And when they would look at me, they would say, she has nice teeth and hair. And I used to think, well, what is wrong? What's the situation here? So I was going to make sure that I kept my teeth, and I was going to keep my hair. My hair was going to be there because that's how people saw me. They saw me with my teeth and they saw my hair. As I got older, I was a model. So that was a part of hair. So I started doing different hair models. And so that came into the glues and the weaves and all of those type of things. And then later I found out where I was starting to get alopecia. My hair was falling out in certain places. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I don't have that hair. I don't have that thing that brought the attention to me, that people would look at me and at least see something that was appealing at that point. And I remember just like, what am I going to do? How am I going to move? I can't wear my own hair out now. So then I would again try to do the weaves and different things, but the way my hair was coming out, it still showed. And so that was a thing for me. It was like, I started to go into a little shell about that because it was my hair, it was my crowning point, until that deciding moment was, it's an accessory. And so I said, I'm glad that you said that. So today, my hair is an accessory because I change it. I change it all the time. I change it to how I feel. I change it for a certain holiday. And I love that. I love that about me, that I can make those changes and I look good in all of those changes. That's
Hey, would you say that the hair choices of our most visible Black women in the media, in the community, would you say that their choices in their hairstyle influence our young Black girls, or it influences what we feel the standard of beauty and how we should care for our hair? Do you think that those influential women in their hair choices, do you think that has an impact on us as Black women and our Black little girls?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, always. Yes. So this is Rochelle. If I may, this is connected to that defining moment as well, because I didn't actually say what that moment was for me. And I realized that 19 years ago, I was 34. Yes. And I'll come full circle to the hair choice. So being impacted by what we see around us, always. We were looking outside of ourselves. I was looking at my mother, but I also was looking out into the world. I especially looked out into the world because my mom she was cool with wearing wigs and stuff. I never wanted to put something like that on my head. And or like gay lace. That was back in the 60s or something. They used to do that, but you just wrap their heads and stuff. And I just never wanted to do that. So I always was looking outside for what was acceptable. And I just wanted to relate that to the defining moment, because that meant 19 years ago, I was 34. And now I know what it was. I was in a process of taking my power back all around. Right. Yes. And so I can't speak informedly about, like, you know, having a conversation with a young girl about her hair, but you can see what I see on the street is what I see on television. So I know that. But I think that unlike when I was growing up, they have many more Black women, women of color, to emulate over white women, because that's all we had when I was growing up. Was white women, until, you know, the Cosbys and the people on certain shows that, you know, most of the shows before the Cosbys came on were showing us as living in poverty. You know, we had Florida Evans, wonderful, brilliant woman, but she, you know, she sported a short fro. I was like, not having that. Because what was the dominant message was have long hair. Yes. So yes, we are influenced greatly by what we see among celebrities.
Right. I have a lot of conversation with from I Am My Sister's Keeper with our girls that are in the group. And one of the things that I found with the girls is that they're embracing their differences. They'll wear natural, they'll wear braids, they'll just wash it and just come out and wear or whatever. And we embrace that with them. Be who you are. You know, you want to project something that you're not, then you're not going to feel good about yourself. So I'm enlightened that the girls today, I'll wear my hair how I want to wear my hair. This is my hair. I'll do with it what I want. And they're doing that. They're embracing the differences.
I can say from behind the chair, sometimes for me, it's very disheartening, because I get little girls who come in with the prettiest tight curls. And the first thing I hear their mother say is, oh my gosh, I hate her hair. It's difficult, it's nappy, it's dry. And all I hear is negative words to describe this baby's hair in my chair. And I literally have to redirect the mother or redirect the father and say, no, her hair is magical. And I have to instill into these little girls that, baby, look at your hair. It starts here, and then when I stretch it, it comes down here. Not everyone can have magical hair like yours. So I think a lot of it, we do look outside into the media and other women, but a lot of our hair hate comes right from our home, from our grandmas, from getting our hair pressed for Easter, because they thought that you look put together if you had straight hair, or you look together if your hair was braided this way. So a lot of the influence that I see with my little babies is right at home. And I just want that to change in our society, that we could show hair love right at home. That's really, really what that's really where it begins.
Right. That's true. It's funny that you say that. My daughter, her name is Melody Phillips, and she wears her hair in locks. And it's just so beautiful to see it. And watch how she does with our granddaughters. And it's wear your hair how you want to wear your hair. You're beautiful when you wake up in the morning. So you're right. I think it depends on the age that you are too. You know, where your family, you know, when you say your grandmothers and everyone were telling you. But when I look at the millennials that are coming up who are raising kids now, they're like, wear your hair naturally, wear your hair, be you. So that's the difference in the generations.
And I want to add to that too, because I am falling in love with the direction Black women are going with their hair. Even from India, I read just telling us, you know, we are not our hair, you know, we are the spirit that lives within.
Exactly.
And then recently, Tiffany Haddish just shaving all her hair, and she had to let people know, like, no, I'm living my best life. There's nothing emotionally going on with me. I'm good, right? And so I think it's really important, although there is a really powerful influence on our young women as far as still equating long and straight hair beauty, I am happy to see that there has been a shift. And
Definitely.
And even just meeting the most beautiful people who have survived breast cancer and them still being confident and shaving their hairs and wearing it just as it is and still knowing that their hair doesn't define them. So there has been a shift, but of course there's still a little influence in there, but we're embracing our hair however it is. And I'm falling in love with that shift too.
So now with
I
this
am too.
and we're embracing our hair, what do you guys think about the Crown Act, where it's finally being passed that it's okay for us to wear our hair the way it comes out of our scalp? What are your thoughts and feelings on this new development in Congress and in Senate and all these places?
It's past time.
Mm.
That's what I feel.
Well, I'll say that I believe that, yeah, like Charlotte said, it's past time, but it's also we are in a season where we as Black women are getting what we've never gotten. We're getting our just due.
Yes.
We're moving into that time, and you can see it all over the world. You can see it in the media. You can see it everywhere, even in our colleges. I mean, everywhere all over the world, we are being impacted in a more positive way now than ever before, just as Black people in general. But us as women, we're experiencing that season of change for us. And I'm really excited about that. The fact that there was a time when we, if you had dreadlocks or locks in your hair, you weren't allowed to get hired on certain jobs. So it's really a great thing to see the change and the shift in that. And I think that it's time, but I think that it also is referencing the time that we're in as Black people.
I want to jump in there because I know I'm looking at the comments and a lot of people are like, in agreement in terms of it's time, it's past due and all of that. I have a bit of a different perspective on it. I feel like it shouldn't be necessary. We should not need legislation to make it okay to wear our hair in our natural state. It should not be necessary. It's like there should not need to be legislation that dictates that it's not okay for Black people to be randomly killed. It just shouldn't be necessary. So I don't view it as being where we're becoming more accepted. I think obviously there's pockets of people who are like, this is wrong, so this is a way to correct it. But what I think it demonstrates is that there is still so much farther we need to go and progress, not us, but the society that we live in, so that a law would not be necessary to make it okay to wear the hair that I was born with.
Yes, yes. And I echo that, Dr. Sharita, of course. I was sitting here chomping at the bit, like, that's evidence that the government gets to say what's acceptable, right? That's what we have to know, and we have to get the word out to people about, right? What we need to talk to Grandmom about is how her perspective may be internalized racism. Yes. It is 9 times out of 10, 9.9 times out of 10. Okay. And this is evidence that we live in a society where there are a group of people who get to say what we can do with our bodies. Still, do you know one of the most talked about things in the Senate and the House is what women can do with their bodies.
What women can do.
Right? Abortion.
Abortion, yes.
That's right.
On the table all of the time by groups that are, by a group that is also primarily men.
White men.
Don't get me started. I'm not.
The same group who also, and I don't want to take it off topic, but the same group of white men who also want to raise discussions about kind of minimizing what rape really is and excusing rape are the same group of people who want to tell women that they can't make decisions about their reproductive system.
Mhm.
You know, that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to chime in, Dr. Sharita, and say that I think that even in college, my college experience right now, it's been it's amazing because many white people have challenges with what has come out. All that is, some have said, I don't know what to say. Some have said, I'm so sorry. Some have said, I didn't know, you know. And then when I hear I didn't know, I'm like, how did you not know? You're living in the same world I'm in. But I think that I still kind of go with what I said earlier, that it's some sort of progress. I mean, it's like you said, there's a lot that needs to still change. There's a lot of change that needs to happen. And I say that it's good in the respect that we've never been here before.
Right.
It's always been that we were the underdog. As Black women, we've always been looked down upon. We've always been defamed. We've always been, someone's had their foot on top of us, and our value and power has always been, something that didn't exist. But it's a new day.
It truly, truly
It's a new
is.
day.
So with all of that being said, how do you think that the media is or is not portraying Black hair currently? So from my standpoint, being a millennial, my soul is old. Only saying a millennial because that's what they say my age bracket is.
Right.
So from where I am, I feel as if the media is portraying our hair in a good light, but it's also portraying our hair in a bad light. So in the good way, natural hair is more accepted. You see more artists coming out with just their curls, or you're starting to see more natural looking weaves. You're starting to see more people start their sister lock journey or their lock journeys. But then you also start to see the bundles going on sale. You start to see the Chinese stores, the hair stores, where it's more set. You have like hair color that you probably shouldn't even be doing at home. It's more accessible to you. You have the relaxer that probably shouldn't be done at home either. That's more accessible to you. So it's almost like in one light it's accepted, but in another light, there are so many things available to us to either change our hair, cover up our hair, or make it seem like the hair that's coming out of our head is a problem. So I think it's a double-edged sword on how the media is portraying what our hair is. I guess it just depends on from what view you're looking at it. And
True. And I guess I see it as choices. And as women, that's what kind of dress I'm going to wear, what color dress I'm going to wear, or am I going to wear pants, or if I'm going to wear, African garb. It's just another choice, the way I see it.
Yes. And the media is portraying what is given to them. That's advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when you just mentioned that, Brittany, I thought, oh no, that's always been the case.
Right.
Right. I mean, I did my own relaxer.
My own color. And they're marketing this 4C hair type. That 4C is difficult. 4C is dry. 4C you can't comb. 4C doesn't curl. 4C does nothing. And so I have tons of women sitting in my chair. Oh, I got this 4C hair. I don't know. Girl, what is 4C?
I know, right?
It doesn't even mean anything. So it's like marketing companies have figured out our hair, and they formulated processes, techniques, and products for our hair to make it easier when we don't need those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can a white man in L'Oreal tell me that if I use X, Y, Z, A, B, and C, that my Black hair is going to respond great to that? I just, in some ways in media, I don't agree with a lot of things. And I know, Celine, you said that you found a website where there are more natural products that you use for your hair.
Yes.
And in the salon, I switched over to organic, vegan, cruelty-free, plant-based products to better service our hair. And what I noticed in hair care at my salon is that the less chemicals, the less fragrances, when you take those things out of the products, our hair responds better. When we wash our hair more, our hair responds better. So I think media is portraying maybe this treating our hair type thing or covering our hair up, when my hope is that media portrays that we should take better care of our hair and that we should wash our hair more, and we should be more mindful of our diets and more mindful of the products that we're choosing to go in our skin or, you know, on our hair.
And I agree with you, Brittany, wholeheartedly. And I feel like the hair industry is just like the pharmaceutical industry, right? They're, you know, it's all about capitalism. And even just the movie that I just watched called Bad Hair on Hulu that they had about, you know, a man, right? A Black man, right? From Soto, but just having some type of opinion on this intimate space that we have as women with our hair. But I do feel like the media does try to really, in a way, pit those women who do embrace their natural hair towards women who choose to wear their hair as an accessory, as if, okay, you're not anything more of a woman or a natural woman if you don't wear your, you know, embrace your real hair. And so I see a lot of that happening in the media, where it's kind of like light skin, dark skin, just another way to kind of pit us against each other as well. But I just think that the hair industry is just like, you know, it's all about money. And so of course they're gonna make us feel like, you know, we need more, right? Because then they make more money. And so that's just my opinion about that as well.
Well, I'd like to chime in on that. From what you said, young lady, I agree with you, because it is an industry. That's why I don't go to the salon now. And Brittany, it sounds like you have a really wonderful salon, but I don't go to the salon anymore for that reason. And I manage my own hair. And I think that, you know, the media, yeah, they want to pit us against one another in different ways, but I think it's real relevant that we do take care of our own hair and find out what our hair likes, you know, and then treat it well.
I completely agree. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to take it back to when I was just a little baby girl. When I was younger, I've always had really big curly hair. And so when I was younger, my mother didn't really like to do my hair. And as an adult, I understand why now. So when I was younger, I would typically wear one Afro puff in the middle of my head, or I would wear two Afro puffs. And I could remember absolutely loving my hair. And I remember there was a rapper, Lady Rampage, I want to say, I'm rough and tough with my Afro puffs. Hey, so I love that. But then they tease me on the bus every day about my hair.
Yeah.
And I hated it. I hated my hair so much after they made fun of me, because I thought that I had, you know, Lady Rage was a strong woman. So I thought I had these strong ponytails. And so I think about it now, and I'm going to answer this question. I'm going to say the statement, then I'm going to ask you the same question. So if I could say anything to Brittany with those two Afro puffs on the bus going to elementary school, I would tell her, girl, your puffs are cute. Lady Rage is cute. And don't you pay attention to these kids. Love the hair that you have. You are absolutely beautiful no matter what. That is what I would say to myself when I was a younger girl. What is something that you would say to your younger self when you had your head full of natural hair? What is one thing you would say to her if you could say something to her right now?
Wow.
Don't all answer at once.
Don't you perm your hair, girl. Don't perm your hair.
I had to think about that one.
Don't perm your hair. Your hair is beautiful just the way it is. Take care of it, let it grow, and eventually it's going to be just as long, right? And beautiful. So I would just say, don't perm your hair, don't press it. That's what I tell myself.
I would agree with that. When I was younger, what we got was called the Vigoro, and it smelled awful. It was like, it smelled a couple days after you had your hair done. It's like, goodness, never ever get that in your hair. That's what I would have told myself if I had the choice. My mom sent me, and stuff. So that would have been it.
I think I would tell my younger self that your head is your crown, and like don't ever let anybody like adapt your natural state, right? Don't ever let anybody adapt what God has made. Yes, so that goes for my hair, my heart. Yeah. Listen, I'm on another part of my journey, so I have a lot.
Absolutely.
I would tell myself, girl, don't cut your own bangs.
That's the one right there.
That scary curl.
Don't do it. And so for now, what is one thing you love about your hair right now? For me, the one thing I love about my hair is the way that it curls differently in different parts of my head. That is the one thing I'm really embracing, being a whole lot of curls on one head, because it, kind of resembles our life. We could be so many different ways, but we're still one woman. So I can say that that's the one thing I love about my hair.
I love the different shades of gray that I'm carrying. I love the coily parts of my hair. Most in the back, it's really different from my hair on the top. So the strongest part of my hair is the back and the sides. And I just love at the back of my hair, I love how it coils up after a washing and it responds. It actually shows me that it's pleased with being washed. So it's just amazing to me. As I said earlier, hair, it really has a personality, I'm telling you.
I would say that I love my curls. I love the texture and how it feels. But I also like the little strands of gray hair that I have here, and little season right there, and little season right there. So I love the curls and the texture as well.
So this is anticlimactic because I was going to say the same thing. I just love you see this?
All right.
There's a
wisdom.
Yes. We're not even going to talk about how my line name when I was pledging sorority means wise one. But I always wanted gray hair, so I cannot wait. And now, and just a full head of locks that are gray, and silver. Oh, I'm beautiful. I can't wait. This right here happens to be a signature of women in my family. And I feel like I'm emerging as an elder. And it feels so good. I just got chills.
Yeah. I love about my hair, it allows me to be free. Free in, I don't have to go to the hairdresser. I don't have to sit. I can wash my own hair. I can style it the way I want. It allows me that freedom. And when I'm in my most intimate time with me, I can caress my own crown. And that's what I like about my hair.
Right.
I add to that that I love the fact, and I don't know if this is really about loving my hair, but maybe it is, like I've kind of gotten to a point in my life where I will do what I feel like doing with my hair. Like it literally is nothing for me to go from here to here. And Brittany is my hairstylist. So she knows, like, I will, okay, let's go ahead and cut it. It'll grow back. And it took me a number of years to get to that point where it's just like, I think I want something different. I haven't gotten to the point where, now I do own a wig. I call her Carlita. But I haven't gotten to the point where like I might like rock her every other day or something like that. She's kind of like for my bad hair days, but I need to be on brand or something. But with my own hair, just like, we'll color it, we'll cut it, we'll go ahead and shave the side off, things that I would not have done if I still work for somebody else, for sure. I would have been too afraid of the blowback.
Wow.
And that even in the Black institution, the higher ed institution that I worked for.
Wow.
Yes. So this has been a good conversation as promised. I'm so excited about that. Let me read some of the comments that were shared on Facebook. So let's see, we have a lot of people just greeting all of you as powerhouse queens and beautiful queens. So that's wonderful. Um, Corinne says that she thinks it's interesting as a Black professional having to question, do I go to work like this? Interestingly, some of our colleagues who are not of color don't understand this struggle.
Mm.
They absolutely do not. But at the same time, if you show up with braids one day or something different, other than what they're
Something
used to
different.
seeing, it's kind of this, can I touch? What is that? But they don't understand the struggle. Let's see. Oh, Corinne liked your statement, Celine, about having the backup. She said, come through with the backup. The ladies are loving your white gray.
Thank you.
Let's see, what else do we have here? Our hair enhances our beauty. It doesn't make or break it. I think Tracy said that. Cassandra says, whatever makes you happy. Ida May says, my daughter is 8 and I agree with that. She don't care how her hair looks at all. Yes. It's funny because when we are that little girl, it's kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Then we enter the stage where it's like, no, like it has to be perfect, whatever standard we are using to judge whether or not our hair is okay, like it has to meet that standard. And then I think we move into this other phase of our lives when we are able to stand in the power of who we are. And it's just kind of like, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Mhm.
And yeah, if it's going to be an afro today, it's going to be an afro today. Yeah, Corinne said that's good. Mid-30s are typically when we are in development of taking our power back. It's comforting to know that our hair doesn't define us and has everything to do with empowering our beauty. Mary says, what I saw was Diana Ross. Her full-on personality and outfits and hair changes inspired me. Her movie roles from natural to stage attire was like permission to enjoy our looks. That's really good. Corinne says, hair love starts at home. Paulette says, all hair is good. Yes. And I think I have not been hearing as many people talk about good hair, bad hair, like they used to do, where it was like, like Brittany might have been Brittany with the good hair. You know what I mean? Back in the day. So I don't, and maybe it's just my age that I'm not hearing people use those terms like they used to. But yeah, all hair is good hair, especially if you take care of it. Yes, Mary says, show hair love on purpose. And Corinne says, I wonder how much of the influence on beauty acceptance as it relates to hair is due to the male dominant perception of what beauty is, long, straight, and even sexualizing it. And we didn't really get into that conversation. I think that's a whole separate conversation. I'm grateful to say that my husband allows me to do what I want to do with my hair. There are only kind of 2 things that he does not prefer, but even if I do it, he's okay with it, which is he doesn't like it just pulled back into a ponytail. And he doesn't like me using kind of like anything that's artificial, but he did like Carlita. I'm just
Oh, wow.
But other than that, he's like, look, if it makes you feel good, then I'm happy. We still haven't gotten to the point where I'm kind of, letting him rub his fingers through it. It's like, no, we got it. Girl is laying right. We needed to stay laying right. Let's see. Yeah, Ida May says, and we're talking about the Crown Act, it shows how much our hair is starting to become accepted. Mary says a law that gives us permission to wear our natural hair reinforces the unspoken pressure we had to look a certain way, making others comfortable. Because that's really what it was about, other people being uncomfortable with how we looked, not really in us being uncomfortable. Corinne says, as an HR professional, she thinks it's unfortunate that it took legislation, and a number of people are agreeing with that statement. Paulette says, I think the Crown Act is necessary because it protects us as we wear natural hairstyles so that we will not be discriminated against. Corinne thinks the media commercializes the whole idea of natural hair, which, we talked about that. It's kind of like natural hair is trendy now.
True.
People saw, larger companies especially saw, oh, there's a market here, so let's jump on board. Audrey says, an interesting discussion, especially with this pivot, others having a say over and about our naturalness. Cheryl says, this is great. Thank you, ladies, for your transparency regarding your hair. I appreciate this talk tonight. Audrey says, it's about choices. Mary says, in the retail world, I see more companies that never offered a natural or a variety of hair textures now offering these hair care products. Corinne says, that's why we have to go back to what's being said at home. The media is only capitalizing on a gap in our values. And that was around that conversation about love hair, or hair love begins at home, and kind of what are we telling our daughters and even our sons about their own hair or about our hair. So maybe you have a son, so you're not doing anything but maybe brushing their hair, but they're hearing you talk about your own hair. And what is that communicating to them about Black women's hair, and what expectations is that now developing in them as it relates to the Black women in their lives later, and what they're looking for, what's acceptable to them about their hair. Corinne says, the Lady of Rage. Yes. Afro puff. Samantha says, since my mom was a cosmetologist, I had a relaxer at a very early age. I always wanted Afro puffs. Cheryl says, I would tell my younger self that your hair is your glory. And Samantha is now embracing and loving her natural hair. And many, many more comments in the Facebook chat. So we're glad that this topic resonated with so many of our viewers. Again, just, once this is over, you can always go back and share or do a watch party. I think it's an important conversation that we need to continue having, because again, while the legislation helps us, it still is sad that it needed to be legislated. So we don't want the conversation to stop. We want to continue talking about it, bringing our concerns to the forefront, garnering more attention, so that our issues and the things that we need and want in this world begin to be paid more attention. So I definitely want to remind you all about how you can support the Love Letters to My Girls project. You can visit the site loveletterstomygirls.com. I'm going to ask if one of our authors who is on the Facebook stream could just type the URL into the comments so people will have that, loveletterstomygirls.com. You can purchase the book there. You can donate to the scholarship fund there, or to supporting our donations of books to Black women and girls who are being served by organizations or groups. You can also apply there to have your nonprofit organization considered for book donations. We have other products in the shop, t-shirts, bomber jackets, inspiration box. We'll be adding hoodies soon. So all different ways that you can help support the project. Of course, we want you to buy the book. We want you to buy more than one book. We want you to have the book as the resource, but we want you to help get this book into the hands of other Black women and girls who can utilize it. This is not a novel. It's not a story. It really is a resource, like having a mentor or coach in a book form available to you, that you can open, find the topic that you need to read, so that something is being poured into you at the moment that you need it. So let this book be a resource for you and other Black women and girls in your life, and support us in getting this book into the hands of other Black women and girls. Before we close out, I want to just give our authors an opportunity to very quickly share how you can get in contact with them if you want to, follow what they're doing or engage with them in some way. Celine, we'll start with you.
Okay, so you can get in touch with me at my email, presently at my email, eventually I'll have a YouTube channel, but at email is my miracle life, the number 4, the number 6 at gmail.com. Again, that's my miracle life 46 at gmail.com. And miracle is spelled MIRACLE. Okay.
Awesome. Charlotte?
You could reach me at our website, which is www.iammsk.org, or on all of the social media at MSK Rights, RITES.
All right, Rochelle.
Yes, so you could reach me at Perceptions Unlimited website at www.perceptionsunltd.com. I'm going to put it in the comments so people can see it. Since UNLTD, I'm not spelling it right. And on social media, LinkedIn, LinkedIn, Instagram, I'm there as Perceptions or Perceptions Unlimited. We also have a Perceptions Unlimited page on a public page on Facebook.
Awesome. Tracy?
Yes, so you can follow me on Facebook with Weight on Purpose, facebook.com/Weight on Purpose. As I say, I am still rebranding and rebuilding and recreating myself as a singleness mindset coach. So you can follow that journey and get more details about my website, which is I am Tracy Noel. And you can find me on Instagram as well as Tracy Noel.
All right. Spell Noel for us, just so everyone.
I'm sorry, Noel. Thank you.
Awesome.
And Tracy, yeah. That's it.
Okay, Brittany.
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, BU Hair Studio. And then you can find me online at buhairstudio.com. That is BEEYOU hairstudio.com.
Awesome. And of course, you can follow the Love Letters Project on Instagram and Facebook at Love Letters to My Girls. You can follow me I am a business coach professionally and a Done For You publisher. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Coach Sharita. That's CHERITA. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. Make sure you tune in on Thursday for our final conversation in the series. We're going to be talking about Black women in business. So specifically Black women entrepreneurs. We have another group of powerhouse authors joining us for that conversation. And then next week, the official Love Letters to My Girls book release happening across 3 days. We're having a live event. The Power of You is the theme for our event. So make sure that you join us for that. We'll be live Thursday and Friday evening from 7:30 to 8:30 on the Facebook page. And then 10 to 1 on the 21st, Saturday morning. We're going to be doing some giveaways. We'll have some readings from the book, some speakers, a couple of interview panelists. We're just going to have a good time. So make sure you join us there. Until next time, peace and blessings to you all. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, ladies.
Good night.